G'day kids, Ozzie here. Now just before we get stuck into today's episode, if you haven't seen it already, our merchandise is now live on our website, aussieforkids.com, where you can get all of your favourite Aussie items, like the Aussie hat, made especially for kids' heads, or the mini replica Aussie tee. How cool is that? All for our mini Aussie fans. And if you love Aussie that much, you can even get 3 things in a combo: a hat, a shirt, and a sweatband, all on our website. But one of my favourite items is this one, the Aussie socks, with this little touch here. Stay keen, kids, as always. Available right now on our website, aussieforkids.com. In the meantime, kids, enjoy this episode and stay keen.
Aussie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day.
G'day kids, Ozzie here. Now today we've come along to Moorabbin in Victoria, and how cool is this place? The Australian National Aviation Museum. Can you guess what we're going to see here today? Lots and lots of aircraft, that's right. We're going to see big aircraft, small aircraft, and some really, really old aircraft too. But the best part is, we're going to get a chance to sit in the cockpit and pretend we're flying it just like a real pilot. Now kids, I'm super excited, I hope you are too. So let's get inside and check it all out. Wow, look at this. As soon as you come inside, there's aeroplanes hanging from the roof. There's all sorts of airplane toys and lots of books and very cool stuff. But I can't wait to get outside and into the hangar and check out all the different aircrafts they have. So come on, let's go. So we've come inside to the museum and look at the first aircraft that I've found. It's a helicopter, but not just any helicopter, it's a police helicopter. And the doors are open, so let's get inside and see what's inside the helicopter. Oh wow. Oh, I think I'm gonna go straight to the front seat. Come on inside, kids. Oh, look at this. Now how cool is this museum, kids? There's lots of aircraft museums, but usually you just get to see the planes from the outside. Right here, you can come inside the plane and pretend like you're a pilot, like you're flying the plane. Now I'm gonna just get myself all ready. Doot, doot, doot. And we are set for takeoff. And away we go! Woohoo! All right, what else can we find, kids? Wow, look at this one, a Gloucester Meteor. I like the look of this one. This is pretty cool. Whoa, look at this. So this plane has how many seats? 1, 2 seats. I'm gonna sit up the front. Oh. And I am gonna be the pilot. Wow-wee. Look at this, this is so cool. There's all sorts of buttons and levers and handles. Can you just imagine sitting up here and flying this thing through the sky? It'd be so much fun. You got your best mate in the back there. Give him a thumbs up as you're flying along. Yeah, I would love to be a pilot. Wow, that's a cool one. Look at the double propeller on the front here. Not one, but two propellers. Whoa. That is so cool. And they go opposite directions. How cool is this place? I like this plane, that's amazing. And look, how cool is it to see underneath here? That's the wheel that comes down so that the plane can land on the ground. It's super clever. And then when it goes up in the air, that wheel goes up there using all these special equipment under here. And then this flap closes, boom, so that the wing can just fly through the air, nice and smooth. Look at this guy. This is amazing. This is a Navy helicopter. It's massive. We can't get into this one, but oh wow, looks pretty cool in there. Look, that's the Navy. Have you ever thought about being in the Navy? Kids, that'd be so good, wouldn't it? Hello? Oh wow, this is more like a passenger aeroplane. So if you're flying to another place, another state, another part of Australia, another part of your country, you'd probably go in something like this, but it's open, we're allowed to go in. Come and check it out with me. All right, so this is where the air hostess or the air host would sit when the plane takes off and lands, but this is where they would prepare all the food and stuff. And then they walk up the middle of the aisle, like this. And they give the food and the drinks to the passengers that are sitting in the seats. So what do you do when you sit in a seat on the airplane? You make sure you put your seatbelt on, low and tight. Do it up, and I'm ready to fly. Then you have your tray table. That's where you have your food and your drink. Tray table stowed for landing. And once we've landed, unbuckle your seatbelt. Before I get off the plane, the cockpit is open. That's where the pilot sits. So come with me and let's go and check it out. How good's this? Wow. Oh, this is so cool. Wow. Gee, the pilots would get a good view from up here, wouldn't they? But they must have to train hard and do lots of study to understand what all this stuff does. Doop, doop. So all of these levers, wow. And all of these switches and buttons, they all do something special to make this plane fly and steer and move around in the air and land safely back on the ground once you've reached your destination. And then you say, "This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying Aussie Airways today. We'll see you on our next flight. In the meantime, enjoy your day. And as we always say at Aussie, stay keen." And look what I've found here, kids. This is a jet-powered bomber. And if you come and have a look inside, I'll tell you what, it's not built for comfort. Whoa. But it is built for speed and easy to maneuver. Goodness me, look at the pedals and the handles. Wow. What a cool job it would be to fly one of these guys around, hey? Wow, this is such a cool experience. So check this out, kids. This is called a hangar, and a hangar is like a garage for an aeroplane. But look what I've found here. I know you kids love lawnmowers. I certainly do too. But this one is called a Victor. So that's a brand of lawnmowers in Australia. But did you know that Victors also make aeroplanes. This is also a Victor. So we've got a big aeroplane Victor and a small Victor lawnmower. Look at this. That's the propeller. All right, we've had a good explore outside. There's heaps of aircraft outside, but they've also got a massive hangar here with aircraft inside. So let's get inside and see what we can find. G'day kids, Ozzie the pilot here. Look at this kids, this is a really cool army helicopter. And you can go inside again. Look, we've got the passenger seats at the back. I'm gonna be a passenger for a little bit. You got your seat belts. Wow. Which go over your shoulders. And then they clip in under there. That's cool. But I like flying. I like flying the planes. So I'm gonna sit in the front here and check out all these awesome buttons, levers, and the steering. I love this. This is so much fun. Ready for takeoff. Aussie helicopters, and we have liftoff. Wowee, there's got to be like 20, 30, maybe more different planes around here. They're hanging from the roof. They're on the ground. We've got helicopters. We've got all sorts. Check out, oh, can you hear that? So there's aircraft flying around. There's so much activity, so much action. This is so much fun. So check out this big plane here. This is called a Beaufighter. Now, I've got some really fun facts about this plane. If you come and have a look at this model here, that's a model of this actual plane. And if you have a look at the photo there, that's a photo of this actual plane too, before it was brought here, painted green and restored to look like this. Now this plane is the very first plane that this museum owned. And from there, it's grown to have all of these planes that we're seeing here today. It's very, very cool. Wow, there's fighter planes and bombers and jets. And look at this one, this one's cool. You can see inside. Oh, this is so awesome. It's a simulator. Do you know what a simulator is, kids? Look at me, it looks like I'm flying the plane. So that's how the pilots train. They sit in simulators before they can go up in the air. But look, I've taken off and I'm flying above the clouds. Just doing some mid-flight checks, making sure everything's in order. Yeah, copy, received that message. The simulator's changed, we're about to take off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, strap in. This is your captain speaking. Copy that. We are set for a smooth flight across Australia today and all around the world. The temperature outside is a nice balmy 30 degrees Celsius, and we will be enjoying some in-flight entertainment and some light refreshments. Kick back and enjoy while I do my work up here and fly us safely to our destination. Yeah, copy that. Yes, runway clear for landing. Copy that. Aussie aircraft coming in for landing. Approaching landing, landing gears down. Copy that. Yes, engage. And we are due for touchdown. And pull up. That's it. Very good landing, co-pilot. Amazing work today. High five to that. Kids, grown-ups, hope you've enjoyed your flight today. Enjoy your stay, and we hope to see you again on Aussie Airlines. In the meantime, stay keen. Look what I've found here, kids. This is a supersonic jet fighter. Look at it. It's so beautiful. This thing could fly through the air faster than any plane that I've ever seen. And have you seen or heard a jet plane flying? It goes zoom. It is super loud, and you know why? Come down the back and I'll show you. Because jet planes, supersonic jet planes, have jet engines, and so they roar super loud, and out of the back here come flames. It goes, so they're super loud and they're built for speed. They can fly so fast and they make such a noise. They are incredible. Look at this one up here, kids. This one is called Diana, and Diana is a type of biplane. You know what bi means? Bi means two. And do you know why it's called a biplane? Because it has two sets of wings. This is Diana. All right, kids, this section is really important and quite unique to Australia. It's called the Royal Flying Doctor Service, and that exists because Australia is a massive country, and it services and helps people that live in remote and rural areas all around Australia that can't get to a hospital or to a doctor. So they fly using the aeroplanes and land where the people live and help them out and give them medical services. Very cool, hey? So this big plane is known as a cargo plane or a cargo carrier. But come inside and check it out. It's just a huge empty space which is used to carry all sorts of different things to all sorts of different places. But if you have a look, you've got tables and chairs in here. I wonder if they've set it up so that people can sit and have their lunch, or maybe a classroom. What a cool spot. Kids, look at that tree. It's got no branches or leaves. It's pretty plain, isn't it? It's a plain tree. So this plane is a 737, and this is what you'd usually fly in to go around Australia. I'm just going to show you the stairs. If you walk across the tarmac at the airport, you usually go up the stairs to get onto the plane. But come in the back here. Have a look inside. So this is a passenger seat. This is where you'd sit, buckle up so you can fly safely. You got your tray table stowed safely behind the seat for landing. You have your instruction card, and we have the overhead lockers. That's where we keep our bags. Keep them safe and secure during the flight. But look at this up here. Before we go to the cockpit, this is where I've always wanted to do this and sit in the air host's seat. This is where they sit to land and to take off. This is where they prepare all the food and drinks, but this is the best part. This is the cockpit. Wow. Squeeze in here. And look, all the buttons. There's just so much to learn, so much to see. And it's just amazing that pilots train for years to learn what all this stuff does. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your captain speaking. We're just experiencing a little bit of turbulence, so I'm just going to turn the fasten seatbelt sign on. Please return to your seats, fasten your seatbelts, and hold on tight while I do my job to just fly smoothly through this rough weather here. Nothing to be concerned of. Now kids, I've had so much fun. Hopefully you've loved exploring all the aircrafts with me today at this incredible museum. If you're in town, make sure you check it out. Kids, we'll see you on our next brand new episode this Sunday. Until then, stay keen. I've got to fly myself back home. Hey kids, did you have lots of fun today watching Ozzie? I hope so. Did you know that we've got a heap of Ozzie episodes on our YouTube channel? If you haven't already, go back and have a scroll through. I reckon you'll find some others that you absolutely love. And while you're there, why don't you hit subscribe? That way you won't miss out on any of our new videos that we bring out. We'll see you again soon, kids. Until then, stay keen. Oh, and by the way, did you happen to find the hidden Ozzie icon in that video? Yeah, make sure you look closely because they're in every single video. That's right. Stay keen, kids.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie.
Permission to come aboard?
Come on.
Beauty. Oh, I love this city. And enjoy your trip and enjoy the sights of Sydney. Stay keen. Size of the engine. It's massive.
Top shot.
You must have good aim.
He's very good. And he'll tie it up on the bollard there.
I love this city. Hey, what a great way to see it on Sydney Ferries. How lucky are we? G'day kids, thanks for tuning in to another Ozzie episode. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and that way you won't miss out on any of the new videos we put out, and it would certainly make my day. In the meantime, enjoy this video.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day.
G'day kids, Ozzie here. Today we've come into the heart of Sydney and we're going to go and check out these amazing boats. They're Sydney Ferries. We are lucky enough to go and jump on board one. We're going to have a tour of the boat and we're going to tour around our beautiful city right here in Sydney. Now you know what my favourite thing is about these ferries? They're green and gold, just like Ozzie. So who's keen to learn about some ferries? Let's go kids, let's get stuck in. G'day Greg.
Hey Ozzie, how you going?
Permission to come aboard?
Come on.
Oh beauty. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you, Ozzie.
Thanks for having me on board.
It's a pleasure to have you on here.
All right, so I believe you're going to show me around this beautiful ferry.
Yeah, the ferry and the harbour.
Should we go this way?
Let's go.
Let's go, kids.
So this is the engine room.
Let's just hide that so no one knows the passcode.
It's very noisy down there.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it feels hot, Greg.
It does feel hot.
Look at the size of the engine. It's massive. Go and have a look at the size down there. It's so big.
Let's shut the door and keep the noise in.
All right, and this is the back of the ship, the boat.
It's the back of the boat, so you've got life jackets.
Safety first, kids, of course.
Safety
So
first.
if you run aground or if something happens, goes
Sure.
wrong,
Yeah,
grab one
something
of
goes
these,
wrong.
keep you afloat.
Grab a life jacket.
course.
Life rings.
All right, so you throw that out.
Yep,
Someone that's gone overboard can hold on to that.
sure.
All right.
Person overboard ladder.
All right, so the ladder here, and if someone has fallen in, you can dangle that over and they can climb up.
We can put it over the side of the boat and then get them back up again.
Okay,
Yep.
very good. Now what's the back of the boat called?
The stern.
The stern, kids.
Yeah.
The back of the boat is called a stern.
That's right.
What's the front of the boat called?
The bow.
Bow and a stern.
Stern.
What else can we find?
You've got toilets.
Toilets.
Need to go to the toilet.
All right, because sometimes you could be on the ferry for a little while and you might be busting.
Yep.
You go to the toilet. All right.
And then another engine room, because we've got two engines.
And hearing protection, because it's really loud in there. Wow. Check out the view. What an office, Greg.
Not bad, is it?
This is where you spend your days, every day, sailing
I do.
along the harbour,
Yep.
cruising along the harbour, driving along the harbour,
sunset,
sunrise, sunset,
Yeah.
even in the night times.
at night time as well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what time do the ferries usually run from in the day in Sydney?
So from about 5 o'clock in the morning
5 in the morning, yeah.
until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is a long
You
time.
don't work that whole time, do you?
No.
Okay,
no,
so you
we
just do-
share it. We do shift work.
Okay.
So you get one person do the first part,
Yep.
and another crew will do the second half.
Amazing. Now this thing that we're approaching, kids, check that out. What's that? For all the kids around the world and in Australia, what is this called, Greg?
That's called the Sydney Harbour Bridge, or some people call it the coat hanger.
The coat hanger. Do you know
That's
why
it.
that is, kids? So it looks like a coat hanger. All right, now as we come a bit closer to the harbour bridge and we look off into the distance, got the Opera House, kids, see that? Now that is another amazing Australian landmark, very famous. It's a beautiful piece of architecture, isn't it, Greg?
It is. It's lovely.
Now while we're on the ferry here, should we talk a bit more about ferries?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so this, kids, is where the anchor is kept.
Let's come up with this side.
Ooh.
Yep.
It's a bit rocky.
It is a bit rocky.
Oh, come and check this out. Whoa.
So there's the anchor winch, which will pull the anchor up and down.
Right. Okay, so the anchor just drops out straight out the bottom of the boat.
It drops out the front
Out
down
the
there.
front of
Yeah.
the boat.
Yeah.
All right. And so that drops all the way to the ground. And then the hook on the end of the anchor
Sits in the mud or the sand, whatever it is, and then holds the vessel, yeah.
keeps the vessel still.
Yep.
Now it must be a pretty strong anchor, because I think this vessel would weigh a fair bit.
Yeah, they weigh about 70 tonnes.
70 tonne.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit more than your average family car, isn't it?
Just a tad.
Just a little bit. Now how
and then
long?
you put passengers on top of that, and then it's even heavier.
Right. So how many passengers could you fit on this boat?
This one will carry 400.
400 people. Wow. And how long is this boat?
It's about 38 metres long.
38 metres. That's massive. Amazing. All right, should we shut this up before you drop
Sure.
it on your foot? Let's just make sure that we keep safe around here. Okay, Greg, where are we heading into here?
So we're going into Circular Quay, which is the main part of where we pick up our passengers and drop off.
All right.
And it's where they can go from there onto trains or buses or the light rail.
All right.
So it's like a hub of,
Right.
of transport.
A central point where people come to travel
That's
all
right.
around Sydney.
That's right.
Now, if you're going to travel around Sydney, I reckon the ferry is probably a good way to do it, isn't it?
It's a fantastic way of doing
So
it.
we've just come from Barangaroo,
Barangaroo, Darling Harbour, yeah.
and we've got to go under and past two famous
Landmarks.
Sydney landmarks.
That's right.
The Harbour Bridge or the Coat Hanger and the Opera House.
That's it.
Pretty special.
Great.
Do you still look at those landmarks and think, wow, it's a pretty good city I live in?
I do.
Even
I
after,
do.
how long have you been driving or working on the ferries?
I've been at the ferries about 30 years.
30 years,
Yeah.
and you still look around at our city and think, wow, I'm lucky.
Occasionally I need to step out of it.
Yep.
But yeah, when there's a beautiful sunrise or a sunset, you just sit back and go, wow.
Amazing.
Or a passenger gets on and goes, you know, this is the most beautiful harbour in the world.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm a bit
yeah.
biased because I do live here as well, but
Yeah.
you know, for
So
the
it's
kids,
nice to be reminded.
for the kids on the other side of the world, if you want to come to somewhere that's beautiful in Australia, then Sydney is a pretty special
That's
place
about
to be. Absolutely. And you get to ride a ferry.
That's it.
Maybe you can even meet Greg.
You might.
How good is that? All right, so we're coming in pretty fast. Do these things have brakes? How do you stop a ferry?
They do have brakes. What they do is they go in reverse or astern.
Okay.
And the propellers will turn backwards,
Okay,
and which will slow the boat and then eventually stop it.
so you can feel it slowing down now, because
Yeah.
what we don't want to do is run into that one.
No.
That one's called Golden Grove. What's the name of this ferry that we're standing on now?
This is the Catherine Hamlin,
Catherine Hamlin.
which is one of the Emerald class of vessels.
Okay, Emerald class. So there's different classes. Does that mean different sizes?
Yeah, so there's different classes, and each class has a different purpose, different sizes, different passengers,
Right.
ratings, and then different crew amounts. So yeah,
Okay, so this was an Emerald, did you say?
this is an Emerald class.
Is that the biggest?
No,
There's bigger?
there's bigger.
Oh my goodness.
There's the Manly Ferry, which is about 63 metres.
63 metres, and this one was 38.
About 38, yeah.
That's massive.
And the Manly one carries 1,000 passengers.
1,000 passengers.
1,000, yeah.
That's like 2 whole schools worth, or depending what school you go to, that could be 3 or 4 schools worth of kids
That's it,
on one ferry.
yeah.
Imagine
That's a
getting to
lot of
school on a
people.
ferry. Your whole school. No one would be late, or everyone would be late.
Maybe.
That's right.
Maybe if the seas are rough.
But you wouldn't be late on the Sydney ferries, would you?
We try not to be.
Try not to be.
But
You me-
occasionally we might be a
yeah.
little bit, yeah.
And what would impact the schedule that you run on? You mentioned the seas. And we're talking the size of waves, are we?
Yeah, so you've got the weather.
Yeah.
So that could be the size of the seas.
Yep.
It could be the wind. It could occasionally we have a breakdown. Things do break down.
Of course.
Sometimes we could have a medical emergency which holds us up. Or
Okay.
So yeah, so there's a number of things that could make us late, but we try and work around it.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So when the weather is big, can these boats, can they just carve through the waves? Splash come over? What happens?
They can go. They are built to go through the waves, but we try and make it as comfortable as possible for the
course.
passengers. So we might slow down a little bit.
Yep.
We might take it at a bit of a different angle.
Okay.
If the wash is coming or spray is coming over the front, we might ask the passengers to move inside. And
Okay.
Just so it's comfortable and they feel safe.
Fair enough. That's right. We don't want anyone feeling unsafe. We don't want anyone falling overboard.
And that's right.
Now we've got lots of people
We
just
have.
joining us on the ferry ride today.
That's it.
right.
Lucky people to go and see the harbour.
Amazing. All right, Greg. So we've come up one flight of stairs,
Yes.
but I noticed there's more stairs, and this thing's pretty tall. Can we go
There
and explore
is.
some more
Yeah,
of
there's
this
a
boat?
second deck and then there's a wheelhouse above that. So let's have a look at that.
I'll follow you.
Okay.
now we're inside the ferry. So we're inside.
So we're
Lots
on
of
the
seats in here. So if it's windy and rainy, you can sit in here and stay protected.
Yeah, it's nice and protected, and life jackets on the second deck are under your seats.
Of course, safety first.
Yeah,
Right, so that's where they are, just like an aeroplane.
just like an aeroplane. Yeah.
Right. Now, this section, I can see the set of stairs here says crew only.
That's it. The crew
Can
only.
I be an honorary crew member? Can
Just
you
for
take-
today.
Yes. And I can take the kids with us?
Sure.
Come on,
Absolutely.
kids.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Okay, Ozzie, this is what they call the wheelhouse.
Wow, is that because there's a steering wheel up here to drive the boat, yeah?
Well, in name there should be a wheel here, but we don't use wheels. It's just a joystick.
Really?
Really?
So, a joystick
That's right.
to drive a boat this big.
So Shane's the skipper for the day.
G'day Shane, how are you, mate?
Hey, good, how are you?
Good, mate, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So you see Shane is using a little stick there, which is what they call a joystick, or it replaces the steering wheel.
Wow. Okay, so that's a little bit easier to drive than sort of
A lot
operating
easier.
a big steering wheel.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty cruisy, mate. How's he? What a great job. So this is what you usually do when you're not talking to Ozzie.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
what I normally do.
Good on ya.
Yeah,
Oh, amazing. What a great day to what a great place to spend your days.
it's fantastic.
And
With
who
a
have we
good
got
crew
over
as
here?
well.
Hello.
G'day,
This
mate.
is Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Zach,
Nice to meet you. So what's Zach's job? What's your job?
So I'm the engineer on board.
Okay.
I basically just maintain the boat and keep up with all the tasks. On the run, we monitor the boat here. These are our engine panels, our auxiliary systems, and I'm just basically checking the temperatures and oil pressures, and basically just inform the skipper if anything's wrong. And I'm just basically here as a backup for him as well.
All right. So there's 1, 2, 3. How many people? What's the crew size?
So there's 3 crew.
3.
We've got the master, Shane, which you've met.
Right.
We've got Zach, the engineer.
Okay.
And we've got Sean, the deckhand, who is downstairs.
The deckhand. So that's the person that puts the little bridge thing.
He throws a line on, ties the vessel up,
Right.
and then puts the little gangway or the bridge across
Okay,
for the
so
people
that
to safely
bridge
get
is
on
called
board.
a gangway.
It is.
All right. And he's the one that ties the rope on.
Yes.
And then unties it.
That's right.
So keep the ferry nice and secure while people are getting on and off.
That's right. And the skipper and the deckhand work close together because they
Okay.
work as a team.
Of course. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, I'm just going to have a check out of some of these things over here. Greg, what are we looking at here, Greg?
So that you've got the radar there.
Okay.
So the radar will.
Is that us?
That's us in the centre, the little red one with the
Yeah, cool.
green line coming off it.
Okay.
That'll show any boats or objects in front of us
All right.
or around us.
Okay. So it looks pretty calm on the water today.
Yeah, it's a pretty good day. It's calm.
Yeah.
It's not rough. It's not windy. No
not-
rain. So it's pretty good. And it's a weekday, so it's a little bit quieter.
Yeah, it's a bit quiet. So there's not many boats. I reckon it'd be pretty crazy on things like New Year's Eve and other, like even on weekends.
It is.
Lots
It's
of other
crazy,
boats
yeah.
and kayakers, because there's little boats that are allowed to be on the harbour as well, right?
Anyone can use the harbour.
Wow.
So there's kayakers, there's yachts on the weekend, there's fishermen, there's other commercial vessels, there's ships
Wow.
as well. So on the weekend it gets very, very busy.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's your job to make sure you navigate all those boats and vehicles and vessels.
That's right.
Make sure you don't hit anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, keep everyone safe. All right, so where are we headed now? What's the next stop?
So our next stop is Rose Bay,
Okay,
and then after Rose Bay we'll go on to Watson's Bay,
amazing.
which is a beautiful part of the harbour.
All right, well, do you mind if I take a seat up here and just enjoy
Sure.
the view?
Sit back and relax.
Wow, I could get comfortable doing this. Kids, what a great job, hey? All right, while I sit back and just enjoy the view over here, I see that Shane is standing on that side of the boat. He was sitting in the middle before. How come he can control it from there as well as where he was sitting before?
Well, the vessel has 3 stations that you can control the vessel from.
right.
So he was in the centre,
Yeah,
and you can do it on what we call the wing. It's not
Okay.
a wing, but it's out on the wing there.
yeah.
And that you can go on this side or you can go on the opposite side as well. So he can actually see the deckhand and see the wharf.
Right, so it just makes it easier so he can see the side of the boat where the deckhand stands, and
yeah.
he's going to come in on the right-hand side to pick up the passengers from Rose Bay, which is why he's standing on the right.
That's right.
Amazing. Now,
So at the moment Shane's manoeuvring the vessel around.
okay,
So you'll see he's got the levers there. One's going astern or backwards, and one's going forward, which will twist the boat around and manoeuvre the vessel or manoeuvre the ferry into the wharf.
Amazing. I reckon that must take a fair bit of practice to get those skills to be able to drive the vessel. Is that right?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like anything, right, in life, you need a lot of practice.
A lot of practice and a license to do it.
And a license, of course. Absolutely. We don't want people just jumping on thinking they can drive one of these things. Like me, I'm certainly not going to grab these controls.
No.
Speaking of these controls, there's a silver one in front of me. Greg, what is the silver one for?
So the silver one is what they call a backup control center. So if the main controls fail, the engineer will be standing there normally at a dead end wharf. So Zach will come in.
Okay.
So when we go into a dead end wharf,
So this is where Zach is doing his
he'll be
job,
standing
playing his
there.
role.
And if we do have a control failure, he can then go to the backups and then stop the vessel.
Great.
All
Excellent.
about
So it's another
safety.
safety feature.
Another safety feature.
Yeah, great. Now there's a lot of other screens over here. There's some codes and things. Can you give me a brief rundown of what else we need to look at here? What are we looking at?
Sure. So you got your, as Zach said, your controls of your engine or your monitoring of the engine. These are alarms that'll come up, different alarms depending on what might be happening downstairs. You've got the radar system,
Okay.
which will show us other vessels in the
Okay,
area.
so all those red things are all those vessels that we can see out here.
That's right.
Yeah,
All
cool.
those little red dots. You've got the center control system.
Right.
And then you've got rudder indicators, which will show you which way the rudder's pointing.
Okay.
Then you've got radios. You've got the main GRN radio, which is we can just chat to other ferries.
Okay.
And then you've got VTS, which is the channel 13, which you can talk to the control tower.
All right. And you've got a telephone.
And a telephone, so we can actually talk to a crew member downstairs. Or,
There you go.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
Then you've got the FLIR, the forward-looking infrared camera.
Okay.
So this will show up, especially at night time, anyone or anything that's in the water.
So that's live. You can see the people walking around the front of
So it picks up on
boat.
the heat of a person or the
Okay.
heat of an object.
Right. Excellent. And these are all the cameras.
Yeah, so you've got cameras throughout the boat, including the engine rooms, so that you can monitor from up here what's going on downstairs.
Yeah, great. That's cool. Now, I've just grabbed the binoculars here, and I reckon I've just seen some fish. Am I right in saying that there's fish jumping in front of the
Yeah,
vessel?
we just saw some fish, and there's a school of fish that'll be jumping around.
Yeah, right.
Bait fish or various other fish.
That's cool. So do you see like dolphins in here?
We do. We'll see the occasional dolphin, whale.
Wow.
There's a resident seal that sort of hangs around.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, you've mentioned a couple of animals, a bit of sea life. Have you ever seen a shark in here?
I haven't, but other people have.
Really?
Yeah. So that's
Just
one
cruising
thing.
around lurking through the harbour?
Yeah. Or
Yeah, of
sometimes they've seen them jumping out of the water.
Yeah. All right, Greg, there's a lot of buttons around here. I'm
There
pretty
is.
tempted. Is there something that I can touch today? I reckon that's probably a no-go zone, the red
That's
one.
a no-go with a guard over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lovely little green one there that
Oh,
you
yeah?
could probably press.
Green for go. What does this do?
That's the horn or the whistle. You can press it if you like.
Oh, I won't do it again. That's amazing. All right, so should we go and meet the deckhand?
Sure.
All right, let's go. Show me the way.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, hang on, Greg, just before we go. There's another bell here.
There is another bell.
Can I ring it?
You can. So that's another safety, part of the safety equipment. It's pretty loud.
All right, block your ears, kids. Oh, I should have blocked my ears. That is loud. Oh, actually, while we're out here,
Yep.
what are these things over here, Greg?
These are the Carly floats or the life rafts.
Okay.
So in the unfortunate, if we actually sink or we can actually launch them off.
Right.
Or if the boat sinks, they'll float off.
Okay.
And so the people can hang on to them, so they don't have to swim down the harbour. They can just.
You don't want to be swimming down the harbour.
Yeah.
You want to have something like that to hold on to.
Exactly.
And your life jackets, which are all around the boat.
That's it.
Awesome. All right, let's go and meet the deckhand,
The
shall we?
deckhand. Let's go.
have we found?
Sean.
Ah, Sean the deckhand.
Ozzie.
G'day mate, I'm Ozzie.
Okay,
Nice
yes.
to meet you. I think we're about to pull up to a stop, so I'm going to step back and watch you do your thing if that's all right.
Right, yes.
Nice to meet you.
Right, you too.
All right, Greg, I'm going to get you to talk me through the process here. So, Sean's opening the gate there. Is
That's
that
right.
what it's called?
Yeah, the gate, the gangway gate. Yep.
Gangway gate, yep.
And we've got Shane upstairs
Shane,
manoeuvring
driver,
the boat.
Of course, he's up there so he can see.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can see each other.
That's good, isn't it? That's perfect
So-
for communication. So,
So-
Sean's got a lot of rope there. What's he going to do with that? Throw it over something?
Yeah, so he'll lasso one of these bollards. Top
Geez,
shot.
You must have good aim.
He's very good. And he'll tie it up on the bollard there.
And he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, he doesn't even bend over.
Ah,
They
another
learn
cool
that very
job.
quickly.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so he's going to go and use the gangway that belongs to this wharf.
Yeah, so they'll put the gangway or the plank on the vessel.
Gangplank.
Which will allow passengers to get off first.
Right.
Always let the passengers off first.
Right.
And then which will allow the passengers to come on. And they feel safe, they've got a handrail each side.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a number of passengers waiting to get off and
Plenty.
on.
Lots of people going to Rose Bay today.
There is.
Oh, she's dropped something. Very lovely lady behind us picked it up.
So some of these people will be going maybe to work,
Yeah.
maybe out for lunch, maybe they're overseas tourists looking at Australia and the beautiful harbour.
Yeah.
So Sean's taken the gangway, the plank away, and he's untying the rope from the wharf, shutting the gate to keep everyone in safe. And then Shane, the skipper, will manoeuvre the boat away and down the circular quay.
Just like that.
Just like that. Do that 100
Smooth
times a
as.
day.
Amazing. Oh, beautiful day on the harbour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
How good is this? All right, Greg, I just want to say thank you for all the time and sharing your knowledge with me today. It's been an
No
absolute
worries.
pleasure.
It's been great to meet you, Ozzie.
It's been fantastic. Now, I'm pretty jealous of your office. I reckon there's a lot of kids out there that would love to come and ride on one of the ferries here in Sydney. Kids, when you do, make sure you say hi to Greg. Thanks again, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yep.
I'm going to go and sit back and do what all the tourists do and enjoy this beautiful view.
Take a seat and enjoy yourself. Thanks, Ozzie.
Stay keen, Greg. Cheers,
Okay,
mate.
See ya.
All right, kids, as we're cruising through Sydney Harbour here, I'm going to point out some of our amazing Sydney landmarks. Over there, we've got Taronga Zoo. Taronga Zoo Sydney is one of the coolest zoos, and it's also got one of the best views. You can see animals. While you're checking out the animals, you can check out our awesome city. There's some warships that are parked right here in Sydney, and that over there is called Garden Island. There's lots of big ships in there. Check those out as we're driving past. That is cool. And check out that amazing, beautiful Sydney skyline. You can see the tallest tower there. That's the Sydney Tower Eye. See the white building with the spikes? That's the Sydney Opera House, isn't it? How cool is that? And the big thing in the distance looks a bit like a coat hanger, doesn't it? Its nickname is the coat hanger. but it's actually Sydney Harbour Bridge, of course. Look at that beautiful, beautiful skyline of Sydney. Hey, just kick back and enjoy that view. It's perfect. So as we head this direction, you can see the Sydney Harbour Bridge. We've got Sydney City to our left, and then on the right-hand side, remember this is our right hand, on this side, the right-hand side is North Sydney. It's tucked over the back of that hill. Now that hill there, that is Kirribilli. So that is where the Prime Minister, the leader of Australia, that's where he lives when he's in Sydney. He lives in that house there, or her, if it's a female Prime Minister, but at the moment we've got a male Prime Minister, and that's where he lives. That is a pretty cool house, and what a spot to live. The Opera House, oh. I love this city. Hey, what a great way to see it on Sydney Ferries. How lucky are we? And enjoy your trip and enjoy the sights of Sydney. Stay keen. If you haven't already, make sure you get a grown-up to help you hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on any of the new and exciting videos that we put out. Speaking of new and exciting, if there's a video that you'd love to see Ozzie do, make sure you send us a message on our socials, on Facebook or Instagram at Ozzie for Kids. We'll see you again soon, kids. And until then, stay keen. Oh, and by the way, did you happen to find the hidden Ozzie icon in that video? Yeah, make sure you look closely because they're in every single video. That's right. Stay keen, kids.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie. G'day, Ozzie.
Enjoy your ride and make sure you keep your seatbelt fastened. Click clack, front and back. The horn. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. Watch your step, see ya! G'day kids, thanks for tuning in to another Ozzie episode. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that way you won't miss out on any of the new videos we put out, and it would certainly make my day. In the meantime, enjoy this video.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie.
G'day kids, Ozzie here. How cool is this place? Who loves buses and who loves riding on the bus? Maybe to get to school or to get to an excursion. Well, we've come along to this place. This is Glenorrhea Coaches. And how cool are the colours of these buses? Green and gold, just like Ozzie's favourite colours. It's almost like these buses have been made just for Ozzie. Come on, let's go and explore. You've probably seen one just like this. This is like a school or a public bus. It's got a really cool feature, which I might show you a little bit later. But come with me and jump on board and see all the different cool things that it has. Mind your step. All right, Ozzie's going to be the driver today. Woo! Look at that seat. That's got some very, very cool suspension. But check out this steering wheel. It's enormous. It's absolutely massive. Whoa, look at the buttons I've found here. I think this might close the door. Watch your step. See ya. Come on, kids. Jump on the bus. Let's learn all about this awesome bus. Welcome to Ozzie's Bus Tours. Now, what else can we find here? We've got all sorts of different buttons. They're lights. They're all sorts of cool things there. We've got the speedo and the pedals down here to make it drive, and of course the brake to make it stop. All right, that's the park brake, and we need to make sure that that's on so that the bus doesn't go anywhere when we're stopped. Look at that seat. That's cool. Look at that safety feature. Hey, in case there's any kind of fire or emergency, you can use that to put those flames out. Come on, let's have a look. All right, so as I said, this is the kind of bus that you would see around schools, around the community, and maybe something that you would have caught at school to get to an excursion or a sports carnival or something like that. And this bus seats 49 people. It's a lot of people, isn't it? But does anyone know what this area is for? This area has these seats that flip up, and that is for a wheelchair or for a pram. If mums and dads have their kids, they can bring them, park the pram there and sit safely next to the pram. That's cool, isn't it? We've got all these seats here. Oh, high seats back here. Look how tall I am. This is cool. And then this seat, right up the back seat. You can sit along here with like 5 of your friends. There's lots of room back here. But if all the seats are taken and you have to stand up, see what these things are? They're not for swinging on. No, you don't do that. That's for holding on to make sure that if the bus comes to a quick stop, you're not going to fly down the bus. You hold those safely. And up here too. Oh, and look what I'm pressing here. See this? That says stop. So if you want to tell the bus driver to stop because you want to get off at the next station or the next bus stop, you press that. It'll make that noise, and then you can walk safely up once the bus has stopped and step off the bus. All right, that's a pretty cool bus. Now remember kids, when you get off the bus, you need to make sure you stand patiently next to the bus until it's driven away. You don't want to run in front or behind the bus. Stand there, and then you can walk safely down to the lights or the crossing to make sure you get to the other side of the road safely. Of course, safety first, kids. Okay, so remember before when I said that this bus has a special feature? Well, there's a ramp down there. This bus is made for passengers that are in a wheelchair. So if I press this button just here, check out what happens. So once you pull up to the curb and you press that button, this awesome ramp will come out and it will sit level with the curb, and the wheelchair can roll on easily and into its place on the bus. How good is that? This bus is awesome. Now kids, can you guess how many wheels this bus might have? Does it have 4 wheels? You might think it does, but no, it's actually got 2 wheels on this side, 2 wheels on the other side at the back, and 2 wheels at the front. What does that make? 6 wheels! This bus has 6 wheels. Good job, kids. Come around here, let's see what drives this bus. Well, the bus driver drives the bus, doesn't he? Or her. But let's have a look at what gives that bus. Oh, it's heavy. Ah. This is what gives the bus the power. This is the engine. Now, we're not going to touch any of that stuff, but when the bus is going, there's all sorts of things that will be moving around and making lots of noise. That's why buses are so loud. How good is that? But what do you need to put in a bus or an engine to make it work? We're going to need to put petrol or fuel, isn't it? And this one takes diesel. Now kids, I hope you've had fun learning all about these buses today. I hope you remember those safety things when you get on and off a bus. Kids, hope you enjoy your next trip, and I hope you enjoy the next episode of Ozzie. Until then, stay keen and travel safe. If you haven't already, make sure you get a grown-up to help you hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on any of the new and exciting videos that we put out. Speaking of new and exciting, if there's a video that you'd love to see Ozzie do, make sure you send us a message on our socials, on Facebook or Instagram at Ozzie for Kids. We'll see you again soon, kids. And until then, stay keen. Oh, and by the way, did you happen to find the hidden Ozzie icon in that video? Yeah, make sure you look closely because they're in every single video. That's right. Stay keen, kids.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of